It's Monday and it's afternoon and I need to pot up some broccoli plants. I'm not sure how many I have. That looks like there's probably at least about 20. So that's what is on the agenda for today. And I thought I would take you along. So let's get to potting up some broccoli. I'm back again and it's still Monday. I've decided I'm going to pot up or start some peas in these little cells. Since I already have a mess, I decided I might as well just go ahead and do it now. Well, I ended up potting up 36 broccoli plants. So I'll probably be putting those in the garden sometime in the beginning of August, I believe, and hopefully they will give us some food for the winter. So I think that's going to be all for Monday. I just have to do some watering, I believe. It is Thursday evening and I'm about to plant some green beans. I noticed that the beans that we had planted last week had just sprouted up. So it is time to plant another row or two. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to be planting a double row of beans with a good 18 to 20 inch row space in between the double rows. And I'm going to show you how I plant a double row. And our last frost state here in the Pacific Northwest, where I live at, Zone 9A, is approximately October 28th, 29th, somewhere around in there, give or take. And even though we don't normally get hard frost here, it's still a good rule of thumb to plant your beans up to 80 days before your first frost date. And that's also a number that it can give or take as well. And that's all due because the light is a lot shorter now that we're past the solstice. So these beans will come to full maturity at about 54 days. But since we're on the other end of the solstice, it is going to take probably 10 to 14 days longer. And the more time past that solstice, the longer it will take for the beans to come to fruition. So we have about 110-ish days, I think, until our first or our last frost date. But I'm still not going to plant any more beans. I don't think they'll come to fruition past maybe the first, maybe even the second week in August. I'm not sure. I am going to plant another double row now, and a good rule of thumb, if you're starting at the beginning of the summer, to get a good succession in your green beans is to plant a row or a double row, wait until they pop up, and then do the same thing for another row and wait until they pop up, and then plant another row, and then when they pop up, you'll plant another row or two. And then you'll have a constant succession of green beans throughout your whole entire summer. So in my case, I planted green beans after our first frost date, which is somewhere around April. Beans need to have that warm soil. So my first round of beans did not pop up Second round was spotty, but the third round, pretty much every single bean that I planted popped up. And oh, I don't remember what that date was. I believe it might have been around, I would say almost around the 1st of June. Our weather was real kind of cold and wet for a while. I think we even had some hail one time. But we had a really, really, really wet spring. And it was hard to get the ground fully warm to get the beans to sprout because they really like that warm, moist soil. So anyways, let's get to the rest of the video and I will show you how I plant a double row of green beans. So here's the row of green beans that we planted last week. And you can see the little sprouts that are coming up. I just noticed this morning when I came out here, and it was just barely. You can see how fast they grow. Look at that bean. There's another bean there that I need to poke in. And they'll do that. They will kind of rise up, and then you need to be careful and just poke them back in there. Where is it? Right there, maybe? So over here on the row, I have a board, and it goes from approximately the beginning of this first row to the string, and that's 35 inches. So I will go from the string in about a foot from this side, and then from the string about a foot over here on this side. And those will be my 2 rows that will go straight up that line. And I need to go take the board up there and measure and make sure that it's about in the middle on that side. And that'll give me a nice walkway in between these 2 rows. And these beans will have plenty of room to grow. So it's a little bit high intensity, but not extreme high intensity planting, but it still works. So I am going to show you how I do that. So we're going to be doing another double row of beans, and I have dug one trench down here off to my right, and I will be using my V-hoe here and doing another trench right over here. And then what I'll do is I'll fill it with water, I'll plant the beans, and then I'll put the soil back over the top, and then I'll tamp it down, and then I'll water it again, and we'll be good. All those 2 rows in really well. I covered the beans up with the soil, and now I'm just going to water them in. And in about 5 to 7 days, they should pop up. This is a method that I grew up doing when planting, making, I guess they'd be called farrows. Is that right? Farrows? I don't know, I just call them little trenches. And then putting the water in the hole. Always remember to put water in the hole. That helps the bean have a little bit more energy to pop up. Tamp them down to get them nice and secure in there. And then water them again. I know it sounds kind of medieval, stamping down on the beans, but this first row, that's exactly how I did it. What I just showed you here, and that our germination rate was pretty right on, actually. So it works really well. You want to make sure you keep all this moist, and especially through the germination stage. Those beans need a lot of water to help them open up. Ta-da! So here Shane and I are harvesting the garlic. I have two varieties. They're both hardneck garlic. One is Music and the other I don't remember. Both of them were purchased from Territorial Seed Company.
I think we got more than 100.
So here we are planting peppers. It's a little late, but I'm going to try anyway. We have banana peppers, jalapeno peppers, and I don't remember the name of the other ones. Sunset mix of some sort. Oh, right here. Italian sweet sunset mix. And we just pulled the garlic from out of here. So I'm digging a hole, putting water in it, and then putting some fertilizer in the hole, and then stirring it around and planting the pepper. And we will return all the straw that was here after that. After we had pulled the garlic out, we raked the straw. It's behind us, and we will put it back and mulch around the pepper plants. So this is part of the garden that gets the hottest sun, and so I figure that it will be the best place to put the peppers. We were going to put them up in the other garden, the row garden, but I decided that this might be a good place to put them for now. And I think that we could even put a row cover over them if we need to get more heat. So we might have to do that anyways, because we have little dogs that don't like to stay where they're supposed to stay. So anyways, if we have to put the row cover on, I will show you how we do that. So I'm gonna get busy and start planting the rest of these peppers. Good afternoon, family and friends. Today is Monday, and I'm going to do a little recap on what went on during the past week. Shane and I had a little mini vacation. We were both off for 4 days. We ended up going up to the river and swimming. I didn't get any video of that or take any pictures. And we just had a blast. It's been a long time since we've been up the river to go swimming, and we did that on Saturday. I did a lot of work around the garden yesterday. On Sunday, Monday, I potted up the broccoli plants, and those will go out maybe the middle of August, 1st of September, as soon as I have some space in the garden. And peas are up and sprouting really nice. I'll probably do another round of those here in a couple of weeks, or maybe even sooner than that, just so I can have them on hand. And we got a bunch of garlic. I'm going to put in some pictures of what that looks like. First time I've been growing garlic. The garlic heads are not really super big, but we had some in a dish a couple nights ago and they tasted really good, so that's what counts. And other than that, we didn't do too much, but we had a lot of fun. We've just been hanging out around the house, watching some Netflix here and there, and taking walks with the dogs. We took a long walk up the mountain, and that was fun. My father-in-law brought some presents from the dump, which are hanging out over there. Those are going to be a fun project, probably maybe in the spring. I will bring you along with that project. Green beans. I guess the video was about green beans primarily. I really like to have that schedule of when the green beans pop up, you plant another set and then another set. You don't have to do full rows. If you grow beans in a raised bed, you can plant 10 or 12 beans and just kind of rotate it along, and then you'll have continuous beans throughout your summer. You don't have to plant them all at once. The one really important thing to remember is you need to make sure your soil is warm, which is something I just kind of got anxious this year and did not do. It took me 3 times to get my green beans to really fully pop up. So my varieties in a couple of the beds, I'm not sure what they are. As I explained that in last week's video when I did a little garden tour, which was a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed that. And I'm planning to do more garden tours, maybe once or twice a month. So anyways, I am so glad that these videos are picking up in speed. I got 60 subscribers for my YouTube channel this week, which was kind of exciting. My goal by the end of summer is to hit 100 subscribers, so I'm 40 off, which I have like a month and a half, I guess. Not quite a month and a half, about a month and a half until that happens. So if you enjoy the video or would like to share it, I would be appreciative of that. So I will cut it off there, and I'll toast to that.